stock market's rigged. The United States stock market, the most iconic market in global capitalism, is rigged.
By whom?
By a combination of the stock exchanges, the big Wall Street banks, and high-frequency traders.
Who are the victims?
Everybody who has an investment.
So at this point, we all know that the markets are manipulated. This isn't no new idea, but I think what is more controversial is you can actually benefit from this type of manipulation. Manipulation is only bad in our eyes. Let's just be truthful whenever it is going against us, but whenever it's going inside of our favor and we're making money and we're putting dollars in our pockets, it's all fine and dandy. We like to sweep it under the rug. So when you actually want to look to benefit from manipulation or spot it and be able to avoid it, you have to dive deeper than just looking at charts and indicators. You have to start to look into quotes in time and sales in level 2. So level 2 has been complicated over the years just because, as complicated as it is, it doesn't really need to be. And off of complication, you can sell courses and sell videos and things like that. I understand that there's a market for that. There is specific things that I look to see on the level 2 that shows me, number one, manipulation and tells me how to react to it. Now, level 2 structure is pretty universal across the board. You're going to have the exchange or the market maker. These are going to be companies or institutions that are going to apply liquidity to a market. They're going to route the orders and do all the little doodads behind the scene. Then you're going to have the bid and the ask. This is going to be the prices of orders that are either going to be looking to be bought or being sold. Bid, bought, ask, sold. Or you can go a little bit deeper where the bid can be short sellers covering and the ask can be short sellers initially jumping into a position. Then you're going to have the size of the order, the BS and the AS, the bid size and the ask size. This is going to be in increments of 100. So if you see a 500, 10, 1,000, 26, 2,600, or 2,600, the same thing. So a big factor that the majority of traders fail to realize is that the majority of these moves that we see are orchestrated, and there's an inherent sheep mentality in the markets, where if somebody buys a large position in a certain direction, there is a high tendency of other people to follow along, because there's an idea out there where if somebody's putting down $100,000 in a certain direction, they must know something I don't know, so I need to follow that direction as well. There's a biasness in that same direction with larger orders. So you're typically going to see, if you're watching level 2 and time and sales, when large orders are on the bid side, or you start to see a large amounts of green print, you start to see an acceleration in the movement of that direction, and vice versa. So now you have to get to a more skilled level in trading, which a lot of people haven't connected these dots yet. You have to start to align your systems and strategies with what you're seeing on the level 2 and the time and sales. For example, if I'm looking to go long and I start to see a large amount of sell orders on the ask side, that is, number one, that's going to have me to hesitate, which is a good thing. I'm going to hesitate that position because I want that resistance level to be broken. Or I can look at it deeper and say, well, is that sell order that is there, is it progressively starting to degrade? Is it getting smaller? Let's say if it's 10,000 shares or 100 number there. If that 100 is going down to 80 to 60 to 40 to 20, then I know that people are buying the ask. They're spamming market orders into the system, and they're trying to actively jump into that stock there, which shows me that there is a heavy amount of buying force. And you're going to see that on the time and sales as well. It's going to be lighting up as green prints. So if you're seeing sell orders progressively decrease as you see green print, that is going to trigger me to look to jump into that position. Now, other things need to still be in play, like the chart setup. It needs to be doing something of importance. Let's say breaking a psychological level, breaking from red to green on the day, having a solid move. But that little detail there that a lot of people skip over can be the difference between a rejection and a follow through. So imagine if that large sell order never started to degrade, it started to get larger. If I'm not watching the level 2 and I just look to jump in, I can easily lose my position that quickly. These small little details here is really the biggest factor when it comes to trying to find consistency, now here's where things break down. So level 2 in its entirety isn't perfect. So level 2 is going to be a landscape of all the active limit orders that are on the stock or whatever market we're looking at. So this doesn't account for limit orders that are yet to be placed, people's actions that they haven't done yet, or market orders. Remember, market orders don't sit on the level 2. Market orders are going to circumvent the level 2, and they're going to either with a buy market order, instantly enter at the ask price, or a sell market order, instantly enter at the bid price. This is going to circumvent the level 2, and it's only going to be shown up on the time and sales. So time and sales, arguably, you can ask around a lot of people, time and sales is just as important, if not more important, than level 2, because time and sales shows the actual convictions behind these trades. So where there's the possibility of spoofing, where you can have large orders on the level 2 that aren't really looking to actually go through, just to influence direction, manipulation in its very, very core form. You can't really manipulate the time and sales. This is just going to be a receipts that are just going to be fed through the system. So what I like to do is I like to use both of these in tandem. So what I like to do is whenever I see an opportunity where, let's say I want to go long in a position, and I start to see that there's a large amount of size on the bid that is starting to grow, I want to see if those transactions are actually going through by looking at the time and sales. I want to see green tape, or I just like to see green prints starting to feed through. Now, the advent of a lot of algorithms has made time and sales sometimes almost unreadable, because there's so much activity going on. There's a lot of little 50, 100 share orders are constantly going through. So sometimes it can get overwhelming. Most platforms allow you to filter the size. I usually like to filter size things above 100, usually like 200, 300 or so. So pretty much what I'm going to be looking for is just like how I do on the level 2. I look for things that stand out, a large order that is transacted on the market. For example, like a 5,000 share order, 10,000 share, 20,000 share, whatever, in a certain direction. That is either going to confirm what I'm looking for, or it's going to cause me to either, number one, hesitate, or number two, start to plan a certain exit. If I see that a large amount of dumping is starting to develop, a lot of red prints are starting to develop, I'm either going to do one of two things: either sell my position while I'm ahead, or I'm going to start to scale out, maybe sell half of my position, and see if we can break through those walls, or the sentiment can turn around. Remember, anything that we see on the level 2 in the time and sales, it's all short term. You're not going to be seeing any type of manipulation here on the bid side or the ask side, or large orders on the time and sales. This isn't going to just mean that this company is going to run for the next 20 minutes to an hour, or it's going to crash for the next 20 minutes or an hour. The overall setup that we look at on the chart is going to tell us kind of the overall direction we're looking for, but this is going to give us some short-term bias and some short-term outlook of where the current supports and current resistance are really going to be in the micro level. So I hope the video made sense. If you got any questions, put it in the comment box below. Any type of personal training that you need one-on-one with me, just let me know. Email is below. Visit the website. I'm always down to help another person. So